People talk about becoming your highest self like it's something that's organized or something that has steps to get to where you want to be. But in reality, it's messy, dramatic, puts you through a roller coaster of emotions. It is not easy. Sometimes it's not all beautiful. Sometimes it's not something that's aesthetically pleasing. Sometimes you're going to show up a mess. I'm here to tell you the truth. Welcome to the emotional side of becoming her. Hi, beautiful humans. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mango. If you watched not my most recent video, but the video before that, I talked a lot about me feeling like I was in this transformative stage in my life, and I don't know if it's because of the Mercury retrograde, because it always puts us through an emotional roller coaster of emotions and intense feelings. I've been feeling that a lot lately, and I've been trying to rebrand myself not only aesthetically but just internally, my soul and everything that comes with it, mind, body, spirit, soul. And today we're going to talk about the emotional side of becoming her. Everybody wants to be, you know, the trend, that girl. Everybody wants to be that girl or that guy. If you're a guy here, hi. Everybody wants to be somebody that another person can look up to. Everybody wants to be that person for themselves. Everybody wants to look up to themselves, you know? And if you don't know what becoming her is, or him, it's really just stepping into your highest self, your higher being, which is within yourself. And sometimes it's very, very hard to navigate that and who you are. So we're going to talk about the stages of just struggling with knowing your identity and who you are, and going through those in-between times in life where you feel like you are becoming something else, but you're also kind of attached to your old self. It's weird. It's weird, and life is supposed to be weird, so don't worry about it. All this feels like you're kind of going through some kind of like identity crisis, like you're in like your mid-40s or something. And it all starts with grieving the old you. Now, grieving the old you have to always remember that you're your first lover, you're your first everything. You are yours before you're anybody else's. So it's kind of like letting go of a relationship that I don't want to say it feels like you depended on, but when things switch so quickly and you're like, wait, I was just this, now I'm this, it's like a mindfuck all around. It's like letting go of a long lost friend. And we have to remember that when we're in this period in our life, it's a shedding period, it's a rebirth, and you're getting to know yourself all over again. So after your old self is let go, you're kind of stuck in the middle where you're like, who am I? Who am I as a person? And then the question that comes after is, who do I want to be? Not realizing that all of it is inside of you. You just have to look within, because it all starts with self. And this is where attachment starts to come into play. Like, you feel like you need to keep doing the same things you were doing before. You feel like you need to keep the same energy like how you were before, talk like how you were before, walk like how you were before, believe the same beliefs. But in all reality, it's just messing you up even more, because you're going to stay in this bubble. You're going to feel like you're in a bubble. You're going to stay in this energy where you're like, this, I feel like I need to go back to this, because it's what your subconscious or your unconscious mind is used to. But you're really just putting yourself in this bubble, and the universe is literally trying to pop the bubble and open your heart to new beginnings and new opportunities, but you're stopping yourself. So it's like a back and forth, like you're fighting yourself internally, and it's heartbreaking. But I just feel this very, very deeply, because it's something that I went through recently. Like, I took a long break for a while, and I'm just now coming back to myself and learning myself all over again. And that's really just what the life experience is about. And I hope whoever's watching this can relate. Sometimes I look back at my old self and I'm like, oh, she was glowing. Like, she looked happy. She knew herself better. She, you know, whatever. But that's because at the time, I knew myself. At the time, I was aligned with the things around me, but as time goes, things change, and as humans, we just have to accept that and detach from that person. Think of yourself as a caterpillar in its cocoon. Every single time you go back to what you were before, and you attach to the past and you live in the past, you just cannot get out of that cocoon. Like you're shaking, you're you're trying to get out, but you're stopping yourself from transforming and becoming a better you. So that's like self-sabotage. So you have to go through your emotions. And speaking of emotions, a lot of times when you're going through this transformative state in your life, you feel everything so very deeply. This can be fear, love, joy, sadness, and I feel like a big part of why we feel this so deeply is because we don't know what it means, and we try so hard to connect every single thing that we're feeling to a potential, meaning like, oh, like I'm sad, or like, oh, is this a part of my higher self? Is this who I am? Like, you know, like it makes us extremely anxious, and it puts tension in the brain, cuts your true human nature off, and it puts you in survival mode of trying to just figure out who you are as a person, when really you just have to flow. Then when you don't figure it out, it like really takes a toll on your self-worth, your self-doubt, and you're just looking in the mirror and you're like, who am I? Like, am I worthy of anything? I'm just here. You know, like you're just here. Sometimes you just have to learn how to accept and be grounded in the fact that you're living in alignment. If you have to cry, cry. If you have to scream, scream. Even if you have to be scared for a little while, feel it and then let it go. Because when you're transforming and becoming her, you're not just changing your habits and your wardrobe. You're shedding lifetimes of conditioning, people pleasing, and making yourself small. It's gonna be dramatic. It's going to be messy. It's going to be emotional because it's a sacred work. You trying to come back to yourself is such a sacred and intimate thing that you can do for yourself. Especially if you're someone watching this who has tuned yourself out for years, numbed yourself, and have not done like any kind of self-work, or you've just been on survival mode, going to work, coming back home, going to work, coming back home, not really checking in on yourself. And then you have this awakening and you're like, oh my goodness, what have I been doing with my life? And then there's something else that you feel extremely deeply, is the realization that you've abandoned yourself for so long. And I've had subtle realizations of this even myself. I haven't abandoned myself for a very, very long time, but there were times in my life where I have suppressed my feelings, or even just focusing on one thing for a very long time without coming back to myself or returning back home to myself. And to you listening, I don't really have much to say about this. All I have to say is just forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for forgetting about yourself. You are human. Life happens. Things happen. You cannot control things. So let go of the thoughts of you feeling like, oh, I could have done this. I should have did this. And, you know, just make sure that in the future you are moving accordingly, and there's no shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or feeling like you coulda did this better or that better, when in all reality you were not supposed to do better in that time in your life. You are learning. We are learning, my fellow human. You have to forgive yourself, not because what happened didn't matter, it's because you matter. You were doing the best with what you knew at the time, and that version of you deserves compassion, not punishment. You have to know that healing is never going to be linear, and holding on to that will only keep your wound open for longer. Grace is not earned, it's chosen, and today you have to choose to give that to yourself. Let this be the moment that you stop punishing yourself and start loving yourself forward. Comparison. Oh my gosh. When they say comparison is the thief of all joy, they mean that in their heart and everything. Literally, it takes away all of your happiness. If you see comparison coming, literally run, because it's going to literally take everything from you. This can be social media success, or not seeing quick results within yourself or any kind of platform that you're trying to build. It can be an extreme heartache when you're working so hard to become a person that you really want to be so very badly, and you're not getting the energy that you're putting out there. And that's just like the simple like law of attraction, like what you put out comes back to you. But also there's divine timing, where you don't give up, you keep going, you keep being consistent, keep showing up for yourself, and it will eventually do so. But after like the first 5 times, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. And this, I feel like comparison can make you frustrated in so many ways. It can make you frustrated in an angry way, frustrated in a sad way, just frustrated in an upset way. Like, comparison is nothing to play with. Sometimes the mind behind my frontal lobe mind, which is my subconscious mind, it likes to chat a lot. And yours does it too, even if you don't realize it. All the times that you call yourself ugly, or all the times that you're like, I'm not capable, or all the times that you're just talking down on yourself, that's the reason why your life is so miserable. Just putting that out there. That mind is the mind that truly affects your manifestations, your inner beliefs, your habits. That's the mind that you need to work on, not your conscious mind, because you can look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I am gorgeous, I'm talented. But if your subconscious mind does not believe that, it's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. You have more work to do, and that's not me trying to make you scared or anything like that. That's just me telling you the hard truth because I love you. There have been times when I would start something, wouldn't get results. I would see somebody else start it, get results in like 2 weeks or a couple days or so, and I'm like, dude, I've been working my butt off to get this. I've been putting the energy out there, I've been saying affirmations, I've been doing all these things, but it was just the right time for them. And this is exactly why self-love is very important in your everyday life. Self-love practices, self-love meditations, loving self-talk. Like, you have to put that in your everyday life. Like, it has to be a part of you, because if not, you will be so miserable, and that will affect you, the people around you, the people that you love. It's just not a good look. My advice to you, get off of social media. Stop looking at other people's successes. You have to stop trying to assert yourself with what other people are doing, because you're not them. You're not them. You're never going to be them. You're transforming to find yourself. You're not transforming to try to please anybody else or try to show face or show others that you're worthy or anything like that. You're here for yourself. And sometimes I know that the subconscious mind can naturally take habits from other people, because if you feel like you're not worthy and what you're doing is already not enough, you're going to try to do what they're doing. That is not being authentic. And if you didn't know this, authenticity is a higher frequency than the love frequency. So, yeah. Let's get back to what we came here for. Let's get back to the plot. And sometimes the mind can be like, hey guys, I'm doing what they're doing. Show me love because I'm doing what they're doing. And look, they're successful. Make me successful too. No. Doesn't that sound so draining and exhausting though? Like, I would rather sit in my solitude and transform into the butterfly that I am, and wait, rather than trying to put on somebody else's clothes, put somebody else's shoes on, and say, hey, I'm this too. Come validate me. Come love me. No, like that's so unattractive and not even the least bit of authentic. Like, you're just putting a mask on and people are going to see right through it. And that's exactly why I call myself an alchemist, because that's my true being. I transform this into something better. And that's what the life experience is about. Transforming one thing into another. Thinking you're this thing. Being in it for a couple of months, years, whatever. Realizing, oh shoot, I'm changing. And then you're forced to change your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs to something even better. You're always growing. We're all alchemists. Just it's within. You have to step into it. It's you, baby. Just believe it. So this is a tough one as well. And this is also a ego destroyer. Don't say you have an ego, because we all do. It's all a part of just being human. So this is shadow work, and realizing all of the things that you hid from yourself and realizing who you really are as a person so that you can transform into that new butterfly being that you've been craving for very long, or however long you've been craving it. It could be yesterday, doesn't matter. Facing parts of yourself that you hid, or facing parts of yourself that you did not know that you had, it can be hard because I feel like everything intertwines with each other. And going back to self-doubt and like self-worth, sometimes you have to forgive yourself for even feeling certain ways that you never knew you felt. If you do a shadow work prompt and it's saying something like, how do you feel when you look at a successful person, and you're like, oh, I do kind of feel jealous, I do kind of feel envious, I am kind of a hater when it comes to stuff like that. You have to accept that you feel that way, and you feeling that way is absolutely valid. It's just, I feel like it's something normal that comes to a lot of people, and you have to also be comfortable with knowing that it's never something that you cannot get rid of. You know, like, don't ever let your emotions define who you are, and how you live your everyday life is just an emotion. It can just go through one ear and out the other, through through one side of your head and out the other side of your head. It doesn't have to mean anything. It could just mean, oh, like, I felt that way, let me do something to fix it. And it's just as simple as that. You don't have to think so deeply into it. You don't have to identify with it. The last thing you want to do is identify with like a low frequency. This is your reminder that just because you bring a lot of things that were not on the surface to the surface, and you don't like them about yourself, does not make you a bad person. Doesn't mean that you're less worthy. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to wait until you don't feel those things to become successful or to get everything that you want. There are, not saying that you're a bad person, but just saying in general, there are just really, 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 really bad people on this planet that are like master manifestors. You have to think about it like that. There's so many people on this earth that are terrible human beings, and they have an immense amount of money. They get so much recognition and fame, and people love them. I don't know why, but they get what sometimes a really, really good person may never get. And it's very discouraging and annoying. But as long as you don't let your emotions control you as much, or, you know, like, don't self-sabotage. Just because you're jealous of one person, or you've gotten angry at somebody for them just doing something that you really shouldn't have been angry about, or just doing things that just don't make sense, just because you may have partaken in those actions, does not mean that you deserve anything less than anybody else. Unless you're absolutely crazy and like you need like help. I'm talking about just normal human being things that everybody feels once in a while. Don't break yourself down because of one mistake, because of something you did not know at the time, or even if you did know, something that you did without really thinking about, or just don't self-sabotage over something that can be fixed, okay? Love yourself unconditionally, even through moments when you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm a mess. And there's been so many times where I felt like I was a mess. Yesterday, I'll be completely vulnerable with you about this. Yesterday, I was crying. I didn't feel like my higher self. I didn't feel great at all. I still showed up for myself. I had to, even when I felt like I was a mess. I still showed up for myself, and I wrote down a bunch of content creating ideas, and afterwards I just felt so alive and so creative. I had those creative juices flowing in me, and I felt so good after. Then I also forgave myself for crying and just being a tad bit dramatic and being like, you know what, Sanaya, everything's going to be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm okay. Said affirmations before I went to sleep. Slept very well. And that was just that. I felt it. I let it go. I had some compassion for myself, and you should do the same. That also goes into, like, when you're feeling at your lowest and you're crying and you're angry or upset, it could be anything. Never listen to your mind. Do not listen to your mind when you are upset. Do not trust yourself when you're upset. That will set new beliefs. If I'm angry and I'm like, oh, I hate it here, like, I don't want to live anymore, like something insane like that, right? And then later you're gonna be like, why did I say that? You have to be grounded and come back to yourself and say, hey, like, I did not mean that. Because, like I say, energy that goes out, it will come back to you. And, you know, God forbid, you would start having, like, thoughts that you don't want to have, you know, just because of that one moment where you felt like you were at your lowest and you said something insane to yourself that you did not deserve at all. There's been plenty of times where I felt like I was stepping into a new cycle of my life, a new era of my life, and I was very upset. At the back of my head, I was thinking, whatever my goal was at the time, I'm not capable. This is not possible. I can't do this. Why would you ever think that? Like, you don't want to feed yourself that. Like, think of your thoughts and what you say out loud like food. It's like food. You don't want to feed yourself junk food all the time or greasy fried foods all the time. You want to feed yourself fruits and food that has good nutrition in it and just really healthy things. So just think of your words and your thoughts like food. Now we're stepping into our power, right? Finally, almost mastering your mind, kind of understanding who you are as a person, feeling a little more confident about who you identify with or what you identify with or who you are, and just knowing that your higher self is yourself because you felt it already before it came. Now we're stepping into another version of self-sabotage where you get it and you finally transform into this butterfly. Like the cocoon is cracking open a little bit and you think it's gonna get better, but then because your subconscious mind is so used to like maybe living in the past, is gonna try to do that chatter again. That chatter is gonna try to talk to you again and say like, no, let's go back. Like, this is what we're used to. Like, what if this is new? Because your body is uncomfortable. Your mind is uncomfortable with this new being, this new growth. It hasn't adjusted yet, so it's going to try to take you back to what you are comfortable with. And do not fall for it. And then there's also going to be a version of yourself where like, damn, like, do I deserve this? Like, do I deserve to feel this much joy? Do I deserve to feel this much happiness? Like, and not to make it sound like a cycle or anything like that. It's more of a working progress, not a cycle. You're not back to root one. You're just in a phase where you feel like, oh, this is new. I have to get adjusted. I'm not used to this. Ooh, like, I'm shy. But overcoming that, after overcoming that, you're going to feel so amazing. And it's going to open up your heart to so many opportunities, possibilities. And then you're going to be able to align who you are and yourself with what you do in the real world. And you're going to be able to attract everything that you desire and many, 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 many more. But like I said before, do not fall for it. Whenever your mind is questioning your worth and, you know, you're kind of looking at everything like, oh, this is new, like, don't fall for it. Just be comfortable with the fact that you are the mind. You control you, okay? If you had the power to control all of the negative thoughts that you had, you for sure have the power to regain all of the positive thoughts that you have. Like, it goes both ways. It's not something that, you know, but it's it's way easier to be negative about something than it is to be positive about something. And I feel like it really has to do with your upbringing and how you were programmed before you realize, oh, this is not who I should be, or that's not who I should have been. This is who I should be. So yeah, it's all a work in progress. And then also when it comes to outgrowing people, places, and things, you're going to want to try to go back because of what you're comfortable with. You want to, you know, like, it's always peeking around the corner looking at you like it's got a piece of candy in its hand. Like, hey, I got some sugar for you. Remember what I said. Think of your thoughts, think of your mind as food. You don't want a candy? It's not good for you. It gives you cavities. It gives you cavities. All that sugar. You're gonna have to go to the dentist. You're gonna have to, get that all fixed up. Like, no. Like, you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Make sure that you're so present in the moment with all the hard work that you did to get to where you want to be. And whoever's watching this, I hope that you get there. I'm rooting for you. I love you. I believe in you. It's always a work in progress. Me and you are going through it together. It's a journey. Like, we're always transforming every single day. It's gonna be a never-ending thing, but it's not supposed to get worse. It's always going to get better. You're always going to grow into somebody that you've always wanted to be. You're always going to have realizations. So the moments of neglecting yourself and self-doubt and all those things, you need to go through that to be able to get to the next phase in your life. And it's all about just coming together and making you who you are. And even those negative thoughts, that's making you who you are. It's all a part of your journey and what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to become, the woman you're supposed to become, the man you're supposed to become. And you should be proud of yourself because you have so much self-awareness that you know what you want. Knowing what you want is always the best first step that you can take. And with that being said, I hope you resonated with this video, and if not all of it, then some of it. I show so much gratitude for you being here with me and discussing deep truths about becoming the person that we all want to be, and always with love, Mango.